Hey, we're live. So, good evening, all, and welcome to this is which one are we on now? Flipping heck, it goes on. We're on season 3, episode 43. So it's the 23rd of October. Yes, a couple of good admins on here tonight. Robin, good evening, young lady. How are you?
Hey mate, I'm doing very well, thanks. Yourself?
Excellent. Yeah, no, not bad at all. Daniel's here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
With his Back to the Future PC, it's all cobbled together and it's still working, so that's not bad.
Duct tape.
Duct tape, baling wire, and spit.
Duct tape, the global tape. we all use it. Don't know what country you come from. We call it black and nasty over here, though. Slightly different stuff. But there we go. Right. So, God, yeah, this will be interesting tonight. Let's talk about Bounty 15. That would be worth a good chin wag for a while. And just before I get the slides up, I'll say hello to everybody in chat. Who's in there? Cut's in there, obviously. Nice, hi, buddy. And Ford's in there as well. So there we go. Sing along with them guys that are in the sidebar chat there. I'm sure they'll keep you going. Righty-ho. So hopefully you can see that. So there we go. Yeah, title slide as ever for my own reference. Well, not just for my reference, everybody's, to be honest. And then content. So yeah, Bounty 15 review. This thing called the Flying Dutchman, Turrets of Terror Elite TLC, slightly different to the normal one. Robin will probably take you through that. The Major Razor TLC, Cover of Darkness TLC, and then some bug fixes and a bit of rebalancing and a few updates that I've picked up today. So that's about it. Right, let's go straight into it. Oh, there we go. So Bounty 15. The one that broke me. That's probably what everyone's saying, I think, to be honest. So I always like this slide.
I always look forward to these because I send the slides over to Mark and then he always inserts his witty little comment here on the
They are getting shorter, though. But I thought that's enough. So the ship is my version of it sort of lagging as it's sailing along, and then I just thought, that will, yeah. I think the frustration of everybody going, wow, because the forums have been slightly interesting, to say the least. Anyway, right. Yeah. Bounty 15. Robin, go on.
Okay. Well, as we touched on when we did the pre-bounty review, prizes this time, not a huge amount. So instead of, which is probably a good thing in retrospect, but instead of having to have, 150,000 points, 120,000 points, if you just went for the new stuff, all the new toys, it was only going to take 50K to get those prizes. So significant reduction from bounties in the past. So that was a good thing. The other thing that they did that was really good this time around was in response to the player feedback, they've implemented the Nexus, improvement to the Nexus payout. They're now auto-credited to players rather than requiring the manual claim. And people are probably thinking, well, why? Who cares? I don't care. I don't participate in the Nexus. If you're somebody that is on the other side of the pond, and the claim time is between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, it's kind of hard for you to get that, or you have to chase it up with customer service. So was happy to see that that has been implemented. And from what I have been able to understand, that has actually run pretty smoothly this time around. So good job, Kicks, on that.
I know Ren will be happy.
Yes.
Without a doubt, because he was always complaining about that point, wasn't he?
Yes. Well, and yeah, if it's in the middle of the workday on Friday and you can't get on, or, like I said, 2, 3 in the morning, it's kind of a pain. But they had prizes at all price points. In addition to the normal expensive prize up top and some of the new stuff, they actually included some of the older stuff and at very reasonable prices this time around. You could get one MSC and you could get all the toys for the MSC for 7,200 bounty. So that's less than just your grants for the regular length of the bounty. There was some discussion last night on the page where people were talking about the ability to use older fleets and not being able to get anywhere. And if you don't have the MSC and its applicable accoutrements, go out and get it, because I was running 3 generic MSCs and hitting all the lower replica bases, and I was doing fine and was able to rack up a whole lot of points. So if you don't have it, then go out and get it if you can get the points, especially with the free ones that are coming up from Kicks, because that's a really versatile hull.
No, definitely agree. And also, if you wanted to as well, for even cheaper, I think it is, you can get Mugluts as well built, or all the toys for them as well, because there was an awful lot of gluttony stuff in there as well. So some people always wanted those. But yeah, the MCS particularly the fact that you've got this little bad boy here. So the MCS is fully protecting you, obviously, on penetrative as well. And then obviously this plate up here will absolutely sort you out for explosive and radioactive. So just this one plate and that hull, that's 3 of the damage types sort of sorted. So not bad, really, considering for a very little investment. Yeah, good. So there we go. Build tokens. We love those as well. There was a few there, even right down to 12-hour ship one as well. Great.
Okay, and we started doing this last month, so I kind of made it official now and much prettier. Listing all of the costs for the prizes and looking at where we stand with respects to past bounties. And as you can see, this is the first time since December of last year, and even the first or second one, where we've been below huge amounts of points. So it was good to see this time around.
Yeah. And yeah, interesting as it says at the bottom there, the JAV2 turret was actually removed from the prize list for some bizarre reason. I can't remember why that was, but it was.
Yeah, that was in May, and that's why May's was significantly lower than what the other ones were. If you remember, that kind of came out when they were doing something else, and they didn't think it was prudent to release it at that time.
Yeah, I think about overpowered or something like that. I can't quite remember what it was, but I do remember it. Yeah, somebody may relate to that picture. Everybody might relate to that picture at some stage over the weekend.
Yes, so the lag. It's pretty bad when the lag's so bad that your lag is lagging. So I thought this picture was appropriate. We touched on this on Tuesday. And I didn't see it in some areas. I only saw it in like base hits. Other people did see it in the TLCs. There were some folks that were reporting the Reaver Tide was causing it as well. But I didn't have any issues in any map targets. I'm sure it affects everybody differently, but it was dragging the game down. It happened early in the start of Bounty, so there were a lot of complaints about it. So on Saturday at about 2 p.m., Kix removed the replica bases.
All hell broke loose. Yeah.
Yeah. To fix the lag, which it did. The game was much more stable after those were removed. So obviously it was something that was tied to those. And those stayed off until 8 p.m. on Sunday. And so based on my math and how many fingers and toes that I have, that worked out to about 30 hours of where we did not have replica bases on the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which was interesting because those that could did, i.e. carry on, because you could hit bases, even though. And I did carry on because I just want to get things over and done with, and I didn't want to do too much on Sunday. But it became a very expensive bounty for me personally. Even though I did manage to get some coin back from Kix because of the issues I had on Friday. But if I hadn't had some coin back from Kix, I would definitely been the most expensive bounty of all 15 so far, without a date. But yeah, but then the flip side of that is, because I was hitting a lot more bases, although a lot of them were worth a lot less points than what we were hoping for, my base hitting actually improved. Believe it or not, I didn't get in them all, but I didn't care what level the base was. I thought, well, whatever, so go, I'll just go for it. So relevant of level, and it was only a couple of tricky ones, really, to be honest. They were a bit hard to find in some places, but yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Well, and Lady mentioned this, and I talked about this, I think it was on Tuesday, because I had limited time as well. So for someone that started the bounty and couldn't do it until Saturday or Sunday, you were kind of like lost for time if you were somebody that relied on the replica bases. And there are a lot of people that rely on the replica bases. I mean, there are folks that will go out, get themselves, even at mid-level, they'll go out and get themselves, 1,000 points or 2,000 points, and then sit there and patiently wait for somebody to come along and smash them. Yep. And then they'll use that 4-hour bubble and go out and make their 10K checkpoint. So even though they don't hit bases or they don't have these huge fleets, you could still go out and just farm these targets and, work through your bubble. So yes, it caused a lot of angst for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's quite a good strategic sort of plan. And then literally a couple of my guys are doing that again today, where they were like, Bliminick, right, okay, there are no locks left anymore because I've used them all up yesterday, not realizing they weren't going to get more. So they went, yeah, well, here's 1,000. They get up to 2,500. They literally take their guard off their base, someone come and smash them, and then they utilize that 4 hours and rush out and just hit as many using your method, info, all at this one's worth at least 400, and going and getting as quick as they can to go and lock away 10K. So it was still a way of getting ahead, but
Except it backfires when somebody comes along and hits you and doesn't bubble you, and then you're like, God, now I've got to sit here and wait for somebody else.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
so
tempt
yeah,
with it all.
those were the only real bugs that I was aware of. Did not hear of anything else. I'm not sure if it's just because they were drowned out by all of the issues with the replica bases. One of the things that I did notice this time around that from when the replica bases were back in Bounty, something that was really frustrating for me, and I know for others as well. If you're running, 2 or 3 fleets and you're just using, like a set of MSCs to go hit some of the itty bitty targets as you make your way across the map, you'd find one that was like taking too long, and then you go back and see your ship stuck behind a gate, not moving, just getting pounded by everything. And I did not have that happen at all this time around. Did anybody else see that?
I will honestly say I haven't hit a single replica base since the lag started on Friday, and I've only hit proper bases, so I can't sort of comment on that. Daniel, did you have any issues?
No, I drove it all and I had no issues. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was driving replica bases, but
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody in sidebar chat?
Maybe I just happened to pick the perfect targets, but there were a lot that had the full gates, and it was just something that really had frustrated me in the past with throwing things in and then taking a lot of damage. But okay, so some people in chat are saying they're still getting stuck a couple of times.
It must be that private connection Kix I connected you up with. So sorry.
I wish they would upgrade my soup cans, because those are my 2 soup cans with my piece of string. But anywho, okay, so that's the bugs that we know of, or at least that were reported. So what did Kix do about it? Well, there's a lot of things they could have done. One of them being nothing. But they, but they didn't take that route. They could have, and we touched on this last night. They could have kept the bases off. They could have just put the bases in and let them finish, and let Bounty finish at the normal time. But they didn't take that route. They actually extended Bounty for, if I figured the math out correctly, for an additional 35 hours. So we lost the replicas for 30 hours. We got an extension for, looks like, 35 hours. One thing they were not able to do, which frustrated a lot of people, and it's still frustrating people, and myself included, is that they were not able to add any additional secure checkpoints or defense bonuses for the additional time due to programming limitations. And so there's a lot of people that were sit there and oh my God, they're doing this on purpose. How dare Kix, horrible people, bug of this, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's not easy to just throw in quick fixes. I mean, have not looked at the code and everything, but if they come back and say that they're unable to do it in the short amount of time, I'd much rather have them not do it and not completely break the whole bounty and then freeze everybody out. So, it kind of is what it is. There are ways to work around not having those checkpoints. And so if you're still doing it, there's still another X many hours today. Like we said earlier, find somebody to give you a bubble. Shout on comms. Even if you say, hey, I got 2K unsecured bounty, somebody smash me so I can go get, some more points. For those that were saying that it was impossible to get 10K points in 4 hours if you were a lower or mid-level, they've got the lower targets in the bounty locator now. You don't have to sit there and spend hours trying to find these low targets.
There's loads.
There is, and you can just port directly to them. I find enough just with my older fleets, like I said, just I go all the way to the end of the world and work my way back to my sector. But there are a lot of people out there, and I see there's one guy in my sector. I see him every bounty. He's got like Furies, and he's got like maybe one Ifrit, and then there's other folks that have got, maybe one MSC and even Rages and that kind of stuff. And they just pick the target, and if they feel they can hit it, then they go in there and hit it, and they're able to make that bank in that 4 hours.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about experiences in bounty in a bit. But yeah, in general terms, the good thing is we've got 5 3/4 hours left of the event. The bubble lasts for 4 hours. So if anybody's got an account out there that you haven't started it on, the news is basically, or the feedback we've got, is that so long as you start bounty, you'll get the 10K. So if if you want to wait for like an hour and 3/4 and then just go on, you're going to get hit once, because you'll get the 800. Well, you might not even get hit, but at least you get 10K and something. Worst case scenario is you can get some, you can get some subs, or you can get an MSC. There's no harm in that, is there?
Yeah, or even the armor. And if you are somebody that starts late, if there's 15 players out there that have got 1500K and you've got 400, who do you think they're going to go out and hit? They're not going to go out and chase the 400 points if they can get, a lot more.
I did feel a little bit guilty on Sunday, though, I must admit, because I hit everything that was basically unbubbled. if it had more than 400 points, it was getting hit. And I didn't care what level it was. Everything was getting some. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was the other thing too, and somebody had brought this up, and this is a valid concern, especially if you are a middle to low player with the extension. We're all trying to do other things while bounty is on. Not everybody can get in there and smash out the FM in 6 hours, especially if you're somebody that's using icebreakers or you've only got like 2 or 3 dragons done. Put your dock out on your base, because I know I do it. I know there are others that do it. There are some that don't, and not everybody will. And it's not for me to tell anybody how to play their game. That being said, if your dock is off to the side and I'm just after bounty points, I'm not going to go waste time to chase outside of your base.
Straight to the OP.
Yeah,
straight OP to the OP and then get out.
Yeah, don't even worry about the guard fleet. Just straight to the OP. And there were a lot of 90 to 100 range bases yesterday that I hit, where they had their dock snuggled right up next to their OP, and try as hard as I could. A lot of times I couldn't not do it and not take their dock out. So if you are somebody that is, in that position, then throw your dock way off to one side on the corner. Now, you may lose if somebody automatically joins in that one spot where your dock is sitting, but most people are just interested in points. So it can't hurt to put that out there so that people can go ahead and leave those there and maybe not interrupt your gameplay.
Yeah, no, agreed. Hey, Ren, how are you?
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, Red.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And
Ren,
so
Kicks. Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, Ren, did you do bounty this time, mate? Did you get a chance?
I can barely say I did. I joined bounty.
Did you manage to get onto a Nexus, mate? Did you?
I the auto bank. Nexuses. I collected golden Nexuses bonuses with my alliance.
Yeah.
I collected the grants. I think in the whole event I hit one replica for 280 points. That's all. Like, I really don't feel the vibe of playing right now.
No, I was clocking that, mate. I'm just out of interest though. Did you notice that the Nexus was auto banking for you this time? First event.
It did. I got home on Friday. It was already banked because I was.
Well, that's something then. Yeah.
Time.
Good.
That was good.
Yeah, because you've been asking for that for a long time. I know you have. So the timings are always about as you come on. Yeah. You were always traveling to and fro, and it does.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So outside of all of that, obviously, in addition to extending bounty, Kicks has said that they're going to award 10,000 in bounty to all bounty participants at the end of the event. And we've just received word, which Mark has put in there, that they're hoping, is not written in sand and not underlined, they're hoping that will happen at about 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So don't spend all your points straight away unless you've got a gazillion of them. Wait until you get your final points and then get this before you make your decisions on what you're going to purchase. Because the last thing you want to do is buy something and then get this 10K dropped and then think, oh, gee, I could have got this instead type thing. I did question Chris on, there were some questions that were asked on the page and they said, well, what happens if you hadn't already started bounty when they said they were going to do it? It's our understanding that regardless of when you joined bounty, so if you join it 10 minutes before it ends, it's our understanding that as long as you participate in bounty, then you will get that 10K in points. So if you're somebody that never takes part in bounty, there's 10K in free points up for grabs.
1 minute before the end.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't do it 1 minute because with the lag, it might take that long for it to register that you actually joined. But seriously, though, if they are giving out these points and it is giving out just for participation and you don't play bounty, 10 minutes beforehand or an hour or before you go to bed, go ahead and join. It can't hurt. And as we showed earlier, for 10K in points, you can get a fully kitted out MSC. You could get the armor if you want it. I mean, there's a lot of options that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, 5 hours, 40 minutes to go. Literally, wait an hour and 20. You're only going to get one bubble. So even for one bubble, your dock will auto fix anyway. It'll be fixed by the time you log back on. So at least then you've got the 10K plus the 400 points you're going to get anyway. So
what do you mean bubble? Is anybody hitting anybody?
Oh, I've hit tons, mate.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
God, yeah. I've hit more bases in the last 24 hours than I think I've hit in a year.
I had one last night.
Bounties.
I had one not last night, the night before, Steve, and we've been joking on the page about. I hit my last salvo to hit his OP, and I sunk the same time his OP did. It was that close.
Oh yeah, I had a really good one as well. Yeah, exactly. And the guy won. I didn't quite get his OP, but my God, it was close. And it was a great battle because he was driving around, I was driving around trying to avoid him, and it took up the whole time. And I timed out basically, or I can't remember, timed out or sunk, whatever it was. But it was quite funny. He was defending with everything he had, and I was quite, I was laughing as I was doing it. It was quite funny. But yeah, I mean, so many points available in the last 24 hours. It's like the old version of Bounty where, the last day it's up to 50K before you can bank. It felt a bit like that, I think.
Yeah. And, the other thing too is it was really cool to see, and this is a product of things being in the FM. And I know people say, oh my God, it's 2 million points to get a turret in the FM. And yes, it does make it raid-like, and yes, it does make it a longer grind. But it was funny because you could go into a base and you could see that this was somebody that ground out and got the 2 turrets in the FM, because everything else was like old Cerebus and stuff. And then there'd be like 2 of these brand new turrets. And so it was nice to see some players actually having some of that new tech. And there is a really cool TLC that we'll talk about here soon. Yeah. And then, like I said, there are some really, really deceptive bases out there, and you'll point and click and say, yep, I got this one, no problems. And then 5 minutes later, you're doing the Sail of Shame going, what happened?
Yeah, I did run into the odd Serb fully powered up and that stuff and not spot it. And I was like, that wasn't good. But yeah, there's some good stuff out there. And the thing I've liked about it as well, because I've hit a lot more bases than just the ones that I don't know. The rep bases to me, I always end up hitting, they look like the same bases several times over. I don't know why it is, but that's how it seems. I did hit a couple today, but that was only prepping for somebody else in my alliance. But at least when you go and visit, and I must have done 50, 60 bases probably in the last 24 hours easy, and it's at least 60 bases, I think, to be honest. There's been such a nice wide variety of different alliances doing different things, and I like that. I forgot actually that side, because I'm not a massive PvP player anymore, but I was sort of forced down an avenue, and like I said, I got some coin back from Kickstarter, so I thought, well, I'll just use those coins up, and I did. So I'm actually quite pleased I did, because I enjoyed it. And definitely proved my witch doctors are working, which is good as well. But and extended the Whiplash and the Devil's Drive TLC, didn't they?
Yes. Those again were done for an additional 24 hours. So yeah, it sucked. The lag sucked. It sucked that there was no replica bases during the prime time for Bounty for most people. But I will say that they did what they could have, at least with what they were telling us, with extending it and putting it out there. I know that caused issues for some people who, are perpetually under the bubble, but there are ways to, to use that bubble to your advantage. And so, hopefully the next one will be a lot smoother, with respects to the replicas. But, it's a chance, and then, free points. So.
Yeah, I mean, whatever caused it, Kickstarter, when you hear this back, as I know you will be in that sort of stuff, please, please, please don't let's have another one like this one, because flipping neck.
Well, they could also fix simple things like the settings resetting every time and the pop-up showing up every time and the game being zoomed in every time. I mean, that's been like, 3 weeks like that?
Yeah, and I thought that had gone away, and literally I cleared my cache because I thought the lag problem was mine. All of a sudden, the first thing did was a big booming, the music came on in my ears again. I was like, whoa, man, Jesus. I had my headphones on, and it blew my head off. I was like, that, good God. But so that was goddamn annoying. So I thought that had been fixed, because it said it'd been fixed, but it just seemed to come back again. So
there's something else. Target now, and I right-click on the target you hit, and I get that Intel report pop up about the damage types and whatnot.
That was the other thing, and I did finally remember to post it on the page last night. I clicked the info on replica bases, because now it tells you the range, and so you can have a level 102 base that pays 230 to 360, and the next 102 base could pay a minimum of 400 to 800. So there's a way for you to use that to your advantage if you need to maximize your points and you've got a pretty good fleet. Just check what's on the information, and it's much quicker to use getting 800 points than it is getting 360.
Yeah, because it says a minimum of 400 you'll get, won't it? But generally it's sort of like in that range. And I did that every time this time. But even when I was going around prepping for the guys late today, just going around and just going, not that one, that's the one there. So it's less prepping as well to do. So
and the same applied to the lower levels too. So there wasn't 400 obviously, but there was a little higher range. So yeah, use that information.
Yeah, cool. Right, okay. Let's skip past Bounty, and it was all just a bad dream. Right. This is interesting. What the hell's this? Does anybody know what the hell's going on this weekend? I have no idea. Right, the Flying Dutchman. Nice graphic. Something wicked this way comes. I mean, I don't know.
It's a Halloween surprise, but God only
Clearly,
knows.
but what? I mean, the moon's there. It's the full moon. It's
Last time we had pumpkins and spiders in our bases.
Yeah. Go on, give us a gunboat event. Go on. You know you want to. Turn that back on. It was fun. What basically should be happening this weekend? I mean, we've finished Bounty. There's probably no VXP. There's no raid to the first of the month. So what's going to happen this coming weekend? Weekend off? No way. Kickside don't do weekends off. They just don't do it, do they? So something's going to be going on.
Yeah, I don't know. But that is a really cool graphic.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's not just a graphic and there's nothing to do this weekend apart from a couple of TLCs, because, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because a lot of people go, oh, there's too much going on in the game. But I was bored this morning, I must admit, and I was bored yesterday as well. So
didn't we have, was it Nessie or the Kraken that would come up in the base?
No, it popped up. Yeah, that's right. The Kraken did, yeah.
Maybe the Dutchman will pop up in the base.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
That'll just put something, a skin for the Hyperion now. That I would like.
The thing is, it's got a time slot, hasn't it? So it's starting on the 26th and it's finishing on the 29th. Which sort of like a, you know, sounds like an event, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, like you say, maybe it just might be creepy crawlies and that sort of stuff. And, you know, boom. Yeah. I hope it's something interesting anyway. Right. Anyway, so there you go. That's all we know. We don't know anything else apart from that. So just thought we'd flag it up and just let you know. Right. You like this one, Robin, don't you?
Yes, actually, you know, I just did my normal, oh my God, they're running this one again when I was doing the slides. And then I took a look at it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is an elite one. This one is really good, especially for folks that are just coming back into the game, folks that are, you know, maybe not up to having all of the toys. This is not your regular Grandma's Turrets of Terror. This is a new one that's come out. The last one was doable with icebreakers. This one they're recommending Inferno Dragons, so I don't expect it to be like the other Turrets of Terror where you like send your dragons in and 5 minutes later you're done with no damage. This one you probably will have to drive. But this one is giving away a lot of really good stuff. It's tier 7 turrets, some that we've not seen for a while. Some of them are still new, and there's a lot of pretty good tech with this. So price pack 1, Halo 2. You can get 2 of these. And not seen this one, I think, for a long, long time. So if you're somebody that is, you know, got 6 things towards your missile bonus and you need more, this may be an opportunity for you to fill in those spots. Also gives thermobaric casing 4, as well as tokens. And then price pack 2 gives you the Javelin turret 2, which is a really good turret. Works well with the ballistics. And then the heavy ballistic shells, which is an awesome special if you don't have it. And then tokens as well. And then price pack 3. Now this one is actually really good with witch doctors. Cold snap rocket turret 2. You lose the cold snap immunity and things start hurting, and hurting quickly. Fuel tank 2 OX1, which has got a lot of great explosive and splash. And then a single structure token, which is kind of cool. And then cold snap rocket tokens as well. And then price pack 4 is the kinetic motion cannon, also known as the BFGs, as well as the Phlogiston Launcher 2 turret, which is something else that you can use to beef up your radioactive if that's what you're focusing on. So this one's different than the past. Take a look at it. Takes the dragons, the Inferno Dragons, to do it. And if get the opportunity, I would definitely take it and fill in gaps that you have.
Yeah, no co-op and not definitely with obviously icebreakers, but you know, I mean, I'm definitely going to go and grab those 3 days of tokens because that'll finish off my shipyard, which is quite nice.
Yep.
Well, and some people may say that, you know, the Halo 2 is useless and this is useless and that's useless, but let's face it, we know this PvP refactor is getting close, and we know they're going to change the stats on ships and turrets and specials alike. So if you don't have any of those and you don't have the tokens, get them, because it might make a huge difference after this refactor is implemented. And then you're going to wish you had them to quickly change things and quickly change turrets and whatnot. I mean, it's useless today, maybe key tomorrow. We don't know.
Yeah, as ever. All it is a little tweak on a thing. I mean, I was sort of saying at the weekend, and particularly last weekend when I said, what could they do on the refactor? Well, the refactor is fire support 2 could just get a slight boost. That's all they would need to do to turn base hitting around again, and base defense particularly. If they were just to add another 10% or 5% or even 2% on a fire support 2 percentage boost, that would transform the game just by doing that one thing. So, it doesn't take a great deal to move things around.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a great deal. They're not just going to tweak things by 10%.
No.
They're pretty much, I think, just changing the whole mechanic, the whole system, the whole everything. It's the same ships, it's the same turrets, but the numbers, very different.
The mechanics, yeah. But interesting, yeah, good TLC, I must admit. And it's one of the blueprints I missed in the early part of the year because I was away overseas. So I'm quite pleased that's going to top up as well. So yeah, excellent. Right, okay. It isn't the same though. So just don't think, as Robin said, the turrets of terror. Been there, done that. I don't need it. It is just tell all your alliance guys and everybody on the page that it is a different event altogether. Okie dokie. Right. Right, yeah, so the TLC, so the 2 TLCs that are running at the moment obviously have been extended for a day and that sort of stuff, but then these ones kick in obviously at 12 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, so it's the same old standard thing, legendary manticore fleets, that sort of stuff. Did you notice the damage was a little bit less this week?
Well, they said it was supposed to be on the excuse me, on the rerun of the TLCs for the regular ones. I didn't have a huge problem. That maybe puts me in a minority on them when they ran the first time. I know Ford had mentioned when he did it, it definitely was less for him. So I've heard mixed from some other players. I expect the flagship one will be harder than the standard one.
Ren, thoughts?
I ran the Devil's Driver twice already, so I did did pack 2, 3, and Mastery once.
Okay.
Taking about half as much damage as I was last time.
Good. That's what, because Ford said the same thing. Now, I didn't do last month, so I must admit, because my alt account basically missile mantis weren't ready, and I finished them off then, and I went in and managed to auto price pack 1, 2, and 3 without even driving the damn ship. So it's got to be less, because I know last month people were having loads of problems.
To compare, because pack 3 and Mastery are the same.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And I did, and they were last time too. Same number of encounters.
Ah, right.
So, unless I'm drunk, but I don't think I am.
You drunk? Never.
I don't think so today. Anyways, if I remember well, they're the same. And I did pack 3 with the Missile Mantis, and instead of like 10 hours, they took 5 hours of damage.
Oh, right, okay. So
and last time I could not complete a Mastery with my scattergun ships, and this time it completed the pack no problem.
Interesting.
So I was driving, not on auto driving, but the recklessly, and the scattergun mantis were able to complete the Mastery of Devil's Driver.
Well, I was sneaky. I copied Robin's missile ships, and they've done very well, I have to say.
Yeah, she knows her shit.
That's scary.
Yeah, they're good. Well, they autoed all 3 rounds. I was really surprised. I was like, check those out. They're pretty bad, boy. Especially when that blue, because you don't get it on the scatter one. I didn't realize that red ring thing. I've never driven the damn missile ships before because I only built the one fleet, The overload on that thing when that kicks off is crazy. I was like, wow, those things are powerful. So, they were quite fun to use, I must admit.
The other thing with this, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to say it's like souped up Phoenix, but there we go. Anyway.
The other thing with this too is that if you are like me, who you could, they could have 10 lotto numbers and you only have to pick 5 of them, you'd pick the wrong 5 ones. And you do your weekly and you get all these shards, and you get shards for the stuff for the ship that you don't have. Nailhead rockets in this. So this is a place where you can go ahead and get extras of those, well, non-escalations, but those other new weapons. So don't even if you've got the flagship, don't overlook this and say, oh, there's nothing in there for me. I mean, there's tokens and stuff, but still those extra weapons in there can come in handy.
Yeah, just watch. Obviously, it's a follow-on, obviously coming up from the previous. So just make sure 10 stack is still your maximum. You can stack these tokens to just
yes.
make sure you don't get caught out on that one. Yeah, so that's
TFC would be useful because I didn't score my flagships.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm much happier now. Although the flagship for this one there with the Ockhams is annoying because that flipping stupid circle thing fires off the left end to the right, and that's stuff which we talked about the weekend, which is goddamn annoying. And I'm sure it's supposed to just go straight ahead, but it doesn't. I don't know why it goes left and right and all over the place. Sometimes it's a bonus because you're trying to turn in that direction and it's good, and other times it goes completely the wrong way. You want to slow down and it makes you speed up. So it's frustrating to say the least.
Hey, I took my naked one with a thud in to VXP target, and I saw that thing start firing, and all I could think of was pew pew. Like, what is this?
I'm moving on. Yeah, so another one, obviously the corresponding one, Cover of Darkness itself, timeline's the same, and basically, yeah, get the Gatling gun, no problem at all. The Gatling gun again, and obviously, obviously the Brennus bat rate, VXP, size medium tokens ×2, and then obviously the Brennus bat rate itself, and then VXP itself again, and then obviously the Gatling Storm gun again, and then, blah, 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 and it goes on. So there we go. So, but you get obviously the mastery round tokens, which are really, really handy. Can't overstack again and that sort of stuff. So just be cautious with it. But all in all, 2 consecutive weeks, it's going to be. Then you were talking about tokens and that sort of stuff. Does this mean roughly you can now get a second fleet out almost for if you do complete all these TLCs? We're 2 weeks inconsistent now, and there has been previous ones. So. And a bit of
VX. You quite can.
Yeah, and we've
quite enough.
It can't be far off, can it? To be honest, because it's 10 days. 10 days. There's a previous one that was 10 days. 3 lots of FM. 5 to 7 days, that sort of stuff, and the number of days in between. So it must be. It can't be far off, can it?
Oh, it depends on whether you were able to stack tokens, or whether you could even do stuff to get the tokens. And because I was in the middle of something and couldn't do one of them, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I still haven't built the second fleet. I probably won't, to be honest, or I may do it in really slow time.
I like my Razor Tails. I'm happy with it. I hope it works well.
Yeah. Don't know, mate. Speak up. What is it? Is it me? What are you looking at, buddy?
Look at the bottom line there on the mastery, and focus on you there. And I'm seeing Ren's picture, but it says you can do it 3 times. I think it said 1 day token. Did the Occam's Razor say it was 1 day, or did it say it was 2 day tokens on the mastery? So, I thought I just saw something wrong. Yeah, Occam's Razor Tail build token is ×2. The Bat Ray one, it says it's ×1. I don't know if that's correct.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll follow up with Chris. I just copied and pasted from the notes. So
yeah,
I just saw it.
We're not going to know till it starts, because sometimes even when you do ask for confirmation, it's not quite the confirmation you were expecting, because Chris only gets what he gets told as well. So if that's what he's been told, just a flag
there that looks a little off. We'll see.
Yeah, it does look a little bit sort of like
I don't know why they would slight Bat Ray over Occam Razor people, but
it's normally the other way around. Or just go into an SSRB, you'll find out the difference.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Okay, so double check the mastery round when it comes out. I mean, it's out tomorrow, so it's not the end of the world. And that's 8 p.m. UK time, like I said, 12 p.m. Obviously lunchtime, Kickside time. So have a little look at them and see what you think. It may be identical as you're right. Good spot there, Danny. Well done, mate. Yep. Right, bug fixes and balances and changes. Okay, and so weapons and concussive range is not affecting display range in the shipyard base planet. I don't know if you noticed that then, but when she fitted out, obviously, weapons, particularly on the beginning of what's the ship?
The Siren or the Revenant.
Revenant, that's the one, yeah. And I noticed Ren noticed this a couple of weeks back and that sort of stuff, and it was mentioned on the page as well. So you weren't getting the extension of the range. You were physically getting it, but you weren't getting to see it, which is really difficult, particularly when you're trying to put a ship, obviously, in your defense, because you want the range, you want to know where it's going to go to and that stuff, and it wasn't showing up, which is bloody annoying. Yeah. So that's been done. So.
But we did run out and test it just to make sure as well that it really was working in-game, so.
Okay, and is it?
No, before the fix.
All right, okay.
You were getting the range even if it didn't show it. You were getting the bonus. We did.
I'm not going to pretend because I haven't got anything with that sort of weapon system on, so I don't really know. So yeah, cool. Anyway, next one then. That's weapon done. Next one, ship. Then corrosive weapon range for the Witch Doctor does not appear in the shipyard. Correct. I don't know why they can't just put that figure in. You know when it says the weapon can do this, and then the top right hand corner is just to say, right, with all those specials, you know, the range is now this sort of stuff. You know, it's as Huggy always did. It was always handy. That was. But anyway, yeah, okay. Raid itself, smart torpedoes were spawning where there was no, yeah, darn right, no indicators alive in the target. Do you remember you were going in and prepping for people, and then you like back out the target and then jump back in again, and all of a sudden there was a whole load of torpedoes come firing at you, but there was no ships in there, which made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And those that really had really sort of naff fleets were getting smashed by torpedoes, and I don't think it was fair. So let's see if that's going to go through to the next raid, or it resets and it all starts happening again. General bugs and welfare, ignore that line then. So the forum thing tonight, okay, and so 9 p.m. kicks time till 10 p.m. kicks time, which is, yeah, sometime God-forsaken time in the middle of the night for UK. The forums will go off, will affect Heffigs, you can't get them anyway. But yeah, off for an hour and may result in some interruptions. So that's about it.
Well, they have Discord though, and if you have not loaded it up yet, you know, I was like, oh my God, something else that I have to put on my computer. Discord is actually pretty cool. If you run into issues, I mean, there's so many Kicks people, and not just moderators, but actual Kicks people that are on Discord that are, look at you. I'm sorry, did I steal your thunder?
No, but I did sort of think I'll bring it up tonight. So yeah, go on, you talk, and I'll just show people.
No, I was just saying that there's a lot of Kicks people that are on there. If you can see on the top right hand side, all of that stuff there in red, those are all Kicks people. Those are not moderators. Chris is on there, Saltwater's on there. There are quite a few people on there, customer service people as well as management people. There are sections for support. If you're running into issues, there are bug reports. You can go ahead and throw something in there and say the XYZ isn't working properly. And then there's a lot of places for players. There's places where players can share their, raid tips and tricks videos. You know, we share our shows on here, all of that kind of stuff. So if you've not used Discord, you can go ahead and load this up, and there's a lot of really good stuff that's out there and a lot of interaction with other players. And of course it is moderated, so there's no spammy or that kind of stuff that's out there. Laredo and Templar and all those guys are all out there as per normal. But I found the more that I've used this, it's actually pretty cool to interact with other people in the game and directly with Kicks folks. Yeah,
I mean, I must admit, basically Ford lives on there. I think he's got it wired to his head. So if you want to speak to one of the TFC guys, you'll always get an answer from Ford, because I don't know why, but he's living on it. Basically.
Nobody's saying it's going to be the right answer, but he'll say something.
He'll say something, yeah. But it's good. I mean, the mod responses on there I find very, very positive. And as you can see, look, there's 2 CM people, 2 Kickside people on there, are active and live now. So, and they're nearly, it doesn't seem to matter what time of day it is, there's somebody on there, you know. And you get, and like I said before, if you haven't paid your $50 and, go and bought your coins, they aren't going to know that on Discord. So you can go there and ask the questions. So you generally, I've never not seen them not answer somebody, if you go into the right page. So, it's a good place to go and go, I've got a problem, and it doesn't cost nothing to go on Discord, as you know. So you can go in there and, there's event videos. But the good thing is there's recruitment pages and difficulty and strategy and, bug reports. There are plenty of bug reports in here. And it's a real good place to have a look as well. There's some all sorts. And they get answered, quite quickly. Quicker than the forums, I think. I think is like a newer version of the forum, because obviously Discord is not just for Battle Pirates. It's just one channel of lots of channels apart from me, because that's the only channel I've got. But hey.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is, if you find a bug, you send it into the customer service, and this is not a dig at customer service, but they're all not very familiar with the game. And so sometimes there's backwards and forwards, and it takes a couple of days to get that answered. And you can report something on here immediately and say, oh my God, the XYZs are not spawning. And somebody from Kicks will come in and say, yep, passed it up. And, you don't have to wait all that time for it to get anywhere. So.
Yeah, Corbyn's really quick on here as well. And Templar, he's another one. He's brilliant on here, to be honest. He really does try to get to the bottom of things, which is I like it. It's good. It's quite amusing. It's good bit of banter on there because Hefe's on there quite often as well. So I quite like it. You know, it is in general terms, you know, a lot of the same people on all the time, but the things do get and Ford's just popped up in the sidebar chat. Thanks, mate. It does get a lot of things, you know, resolved quite quickly, and I tend to go there because it loads up quick, you know, and you haven't got to load the game and that sort of stuff. So it works for me.
Yeah, and they do have the
another tool.
Off-topic bacon section. So if
oh god, that bit's so funny. Yeah, so go down to this bottom bit here, and you can.
As the world turns, kick-size style.
You can. I'll be careful because I might have said something there I might have shouldn't done. It's sort of open house in there with a bit of respect, but you can virtually say anything you like. So it's sort of off topic and it's quite amusing. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Discord thing. I mean, plug it, don't plug it. It doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't bring them any money. It's an extra thing that, you know, it's good to have. I like it. I don't use it a huge amount, but I do at least go in once a day and have a little gander around. But like I said, yeah. Anyway. Ford lives on there, so everybody PM Ford, ask your questions, and I'm sure he'll answer you all personally with a personal response.
Oh, you see that cooking with Laredo?
Yeah, just clock that as well. Yeah, it's funny. Even Rainer's in there. There you go. Look. Good. Right. Okie dokie. Well, that's the wrong screen. That's the correct one. There we go. Right. Okay. I've got to the end of the slides. Anybody got anything else they want to discuss? Because we're like 10 minutes to go, but we don't have to do a full hour. But I've got nothing else because there's a couple of TLC reruns, isn't there? The new Turrets of Terror, and then something coming up at the weekend that we have no idea what it is. That's about it in a nugget.
Just you've got raid coming up, so start saving your daily chests for your resources, that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you. One thing I have noticed, have you noticed that, oh yeah, Rolling for Cruise, really, really big one. Have you noticed that BP Next Week hasn't been on for a couple of weeks?
I hadn't, but now that you mention it.
We've not had the BP Next Week, have we? We've not.
No. Maybe because they're focusing on the refactor.
Or focusing on fixing the lag over the weekend. No, but it normally comes out on a Friday, doesn't it? Telling you what's happening the following week and that sort of stuff. Come on, guys, don't drop off. Keep it going. You know, because that was really, really good and dead helpful. We've had the monthly one, the what's happening in October. We had that, but lost. I'm not sure there was a BP. I'm going to quickly flick to the forums while I'm doing this. I'm not sure if we've had a BP Next Week for 2 weeks or so. I'm not sure. What do you think?
No, it sounds about right.
I don't do the town hall thing and that sort of stuff, but no one said anything about why there isn't one. I don't think. No one said it wasn't going to happen.
I kissed a girl and I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that about Ren and drinking earlier, I said?
Yeah,
I'm not so sure. Anyway, right. So no matter what, okay, 2 things to do. One, literally, because you've got like 5 hours and 10 minutes now. In 1 hour and 10 minutes time, log in, at least do one. If you've never done Battlefield before, log in, at least you can get a free armor for one of your ships. So that's quite handy. Or you can get yourself an MXC if you haven't got one. Oh, sorry, an MSC if you haven't got one. So there you go. You can get that for nothing, basically. Zip, to nada.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're going to get your base hit. Whoopie-doo. Well, you might get it hit. I don't know. We'll see. So do it anyway. It's going to make the stats a little bit skewy, but it's like when they kicked out that Maxim turret that time. All of a sudden, no one was doing the event, and then everybody did the event, and then I had to go and throw my ships away, you bastards. But there we go. Hey, so what? Because they cost me a fortune. They were dead in the night.
Mark's rage about the rage.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong there. I was slating Rainer for it. I won't tell you what I really said, but there you go. Right, yeah. So I've looked on forums and I can't see anything about BP Next Week. So it hasn't. Discord brief bounty update. Nope, there's nothing there at all. So come on, guys, don't drop the ball. It's been quite good up to now. Right, anything. Stop laughing at me. It's not funny. Sidebar chat. Yeah. Anyway, right. Daniel, anything you want to close with, mate, before we log off for the night?
Nope, we're all good.
That wasn't what you're supposed to say, but yeah, go on then. Okay. That's fine. Robin, my lady, what about you?
Nope, nothing. Just your crews get prepped for the raid. Get what you can get done now. We're about a week and a bit away.
Okay, you just said no, not nothing, and then you just said some stuff.
Well, I mean, no, nothing in other than.
Other than, okay, yeah. I've got a wife that does that.
There is one thing. And
here we go. Go on then.
It's a good thing. It's about you. I don't broadcast this all over the page anymore because we pretty much did the major update. But if you see folks post builds like Ren and his videos and that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is being updated on the website pretty much for the most part as it happens. So if you are looking for the latest and greatest Ren build or video or TSM build or video or Derpy video, all of that stuff is making its way to the website. So instead of having to search the page, you can go out there. And Ford is doing a phantasmal job of updating all of the updates that are on there. So just to let everybody know that that is being stayed on top on and everything's current.
Yeah, the squirmish stuff is definitely there. So there we go. There's some stuff from there. The squirmish stuff.
Yeah, and I've been throwing dates on it too, because that way it's easy to figure out what was when. Because
I will quickly mention, so the little one that I updated mine on, and I've sped up this one here, and I have stuck because I want to do this auto after the event. You know, once we've got 3 events, so I thought about taking the attack mods off, and then I was messing around with the VXP weekend, and I've decided to put them back on only because next year at some stage I want to be able to just use the BP app and just go out and hit things in auto. I did notice when I took the attack mods off, the things ground to a bloody hole and it couldn't move, and I went, well, that's not going to help me a great deal. So that is the reason I put them back on. It's not actually because of raiding; it's actually because I want to do something next year. I don't want to mess around with these ships anymore because I get sick of them already. So
go ahead and click on that picture.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Ooh,
makes it bigger.
Didn't know that. Ooh, check you. You're getting right clever. You are. I like that. Rue the Swellhead. Ooh.
No. Oh, it just makes it easier to
I think you can start calling her a webmaster.
No, web. No. Yeah, we've got to go a nickname for Robin.
No, my days of being a web mistress are far, far behind me.
The web. That sounds no.
Web mistress. I know a lot of people who start tuning in for that.
Many moons.
That sounds like a web. You know, that's a web troll name, isn't it?
No, my camera is well and truly off.
The web mistress. Anyway, moving on. Yes, right, good. Ren, anything, mate, from you? I know it's been a little bit of an interesting couple of weeks for you, mate, but anything you want to, pearls of wisdom that you've got?
Bicycle, I want to ride my bike.
And what? I would make a great radio presenter. Would I, Corey? I'm not so sure. I'm very good at talking to myself. That's one thing I can do all the time. However, right, okay, we're going to pull the plug here. It's 55 minutes into the show, and it's all getting very silly. So enjoy the rest of the weekend. Like I said, watch out for those tokens. Don't overstack. All right, and take a note, because obviously, you know, even if you have to just go and burn a couple of blanks just to burn a couple of them off, you know, don't worry too much about VXP tokens. That's not a concern, but get your ships out there, you know, even if you put a couple of needle rockets on, and if you've got your fleet already done, then go and try something, have a mess around, particularly if you've got some, you know, some funky stuff you want to go and do with your bat rays, and then jump in an SSRB, and then you can you know, tweak it around in there, because that's a pretty good representative sort of target for testing with bat rays. Razor tails, not wise. You end up leaving, as I did after the first three ships, because it just took you forever. So yeah, but it did tell me that I needed to put the, you know, the TAC mod back on if I want to be autoing, you know, after the events are finished. So that's what I chose to do. But apart from that, that's all I've got.
Now,
right.
I hope it's nothing to do with Battle Pirates or with us, but I have the YouTube page open with our stream just because I'm watching chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then bottom right, there's the up next video. And the video that's suggesting that I should watch next, it's titled, "Can you powderize lime?" I kid you not. I can take a screenshot. Can you powderize lime? Why is that related to our show?
It's not based on us. It's based on your surfing history.
Yeah, I was going to say, be careful, man, because it's based on your surfing habits.
Interesting.
I always find it interesting when I go to look at the, like your video or our video, and there's another pirate game video advert at the front of our video.
Yeah, there was one actually for another battle game that wasn't our battle game, which I thought was really funny, to be honest. But yeah, mine's normally random stuff, but which I'm not going to share. But you know, I do get some interesting things. I tend to get lost on YouTube. You know, I know we're sort of going down rabbit holes now, but I end up sort of looking at one thing, and then an hour and a half later, I look up at the screen and go, "How did I get here?"
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I have diverse interests, because it's "Can you powderize lime?" and then top 10 sci-fi shows that deserve a second chance. and then Prost versus Senna Suzuka 1989, and then how
cool,
to
yeah.
fire up a steam locomotive. Those are the top 4. Like, okay.
That's quite interesting. I must admit, I could actually just log on to my thing now and just press YouTube and just see what mine comes up. We can all share our screens and shit. No, not a good idea.
Share mine.
Well, what does Robin the webmaster get up to?
Webmistress.
Actually, mine are all like documentaries and military videos and all that kind of stuff. So
she really likes blowing shit up. Eh? Battle pirates, military videos.
Yeah, a lot of history and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
a lot of history.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've actually just been finishing watching World War II in colors. With phenomenal series.
Oh yeah, it is good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, that's enough randomness. Let's start talking rubbish. And I can't believe people are still watching this. Right, thanks all for chat. Ford, thank you very much for your assistance and keeping it all us online. Cutsy, you're in there as well. And yes, there is a drip that's about to drop in 5 minutes. And it is literally, nearly the end of 5 hours to go. And it's all over. And then we can forget Bounty 15 and then lust after Bounty 16, which will obviously come this time next month.
Thanks all.
Yeah, thanks all. Take care and have a great week. Take care.
We can be heroes just for one day.
Good night, mate.